Hello. It's Saturday. It's 10 a.m. You've been waiting all week for this. Welcome to the podcast you've been waiting all week for. Hope you have an amazing podcast. Turn off all distractions. Get your popcorn. It's about to be 10 minutes full of learning. Let's get on to it. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Political Science for Everyone. Today, we are going to explore the concept of political economy. A key idea in political science that examines the relationship between governments and economic systems. Political economy studies how political decisions affect economic activity and how economic forces influence political decision. Governments create laws, regulations, and policies that shape how businesses operate, how markets functions, and how resources are distributed within a society. For example, when governments decide tax rates or trade policies, those decisions can affect jobs, prices, and economic growth. Policies economy helps explain why different countries organize their economies in different ways and why some countries are wealthier or more economically stable than others. One of the main economic systems in capitalism is capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system where most businesses are privately owned. Individuals and companies compete to sell goods and services, and the main motivation is profit. In capitalist systems, prices and production are usually determined by supply and demand rather than government rule. A well known example of capitalism is the country we all probably live in, the United States of America. Private companies produce most goods, and competition encourages innovations and growth. For example, companies compete to sell phones, cars, and technology, which we all use. Supporters argue competition increases efficiency and innovation. Another system is socialism. In socialist systems, the government plays a larger role in controlling the economy. Major industries may be owned or managed by the government, and decisions often aim to reduce inequalities and provide basic services. For example, countries like Cuba have historically controlled many industries and public services. Supporters of socialism argue that stronger government control can reduce poverty and provide protections for citizens. Most countries today have a mixed economy. A mixed economy combines private markets with government regulations and public programs. In mixed economies, private businesses compete, but governments regulate industries and provide services like healthcare or education. Germany, for example, operates a mixed economy where businesses compete but social programs are provided for citizens. Political economy also studies how countries interact economically. Globalization connects economies through trade, investments, and technology. Products may be designed in one country, manufactured in another, and sold worldwide. For example, a smartphone might be designed in the US, manufactured in China, and sold in Europe. Internal cooperation is also key. Countries work together through organizations that coordinate economic policies and trade. For example, the European Union allows countries in Europe to cooperate economically. This makes trade and movement easier between member states and increases growth and stability. Political economy impacts everyday life. Government decisions about taxes, spending, and regulation influences employment, wages, the cost of goods, and access to services. Citizens can see how these decisions affect job opportunities, healthcare, and education. Understanding political economy helps people see how governments make decisions and how people shape opportunities for individuals and communities. In conclusion, political economy explains the relationship between political systems and economic systems. Studying capitalism, socialism, mixed economies, and globalization helps us understand how governments manage resources and how decisions affect societies. Learning about political economy allows citizens to make informed choices as voters, workers, or consumers, or yeah, consumers. It also helps people participate in discussions about how society should organize their economic and political systems. Uh, I just wanted to thank you guys for listening to this podcast and this episode of Political Science for Everyone. We drop new episodes every Saturday, 10 a.m. in Seattle, Washington. I hope you now have a better understanding of political economy and why it matters in our daily lives. Check out everybody in the podcast social media and check out all of our socials. We drop every Saturday. Thank you so much for watching the podcast. And as always, we'll see you next week. At 10 a.m. Saturday, sharp. Hope you have an amazing Saturday and the amazing rest of your week. Thank you for watching the podcast. As always, we're out.